At the beginning of the film, Anna, who works as a nurse at the Milwaukee City Hospital, shows the doctor x-rays of a patient who was admitted that morning. He was bitten in the arm during a bar fight, and his condition is now deteriorating. On the way home, she hears on the radio about strange cases of attacks on people, but does not pay attention to it and switches to a music radio station. The next morning, Anna's husband, Luis, is bitten by a neighbor girl who snuck into their house. Luis dies from bleeding, but suddenly comes to life again and tries to attack Anna. Anna runs away from her husband in a car. She sees that houses are burning all over the area and people are running in panic. In a state of shock, she gets into an accident and drives off the road, losing consciousness. When she wakes up, she sees policeman Kenneth aiming at her with his service weapon. After making sure that Anna is not infected, he helps her. Later, they meet 3 more survivors, Michael and a married couple, Andre, and his pregnant wife, Luda. Together, they decide that the safest place for them to hide from the threat is in a nearby shopping center. Having reached there, they clear the building of several living dead, while one of the infected wounds Luda. They stumble upon 3 guards, CJ, Terry, and Bart, who demand that they hand over their weapons. Only on this condition will they be temporarily allowed to stay on territory of the shopping center. The weapon has to be surrendered. However, it is soon returned to its owners with the assistance of Terry, who does not approve of the forceful methods of CJ. The next day, they are joined by a group of survivors on a truck: Tucker, Norma, Steve, Frank, Nicole, Monica, Glenn, and an unconscious woman, who say that all the centers for combating the disease are captured by the epidemic and there is nowhere to wait for help. Later, Kenneth decides to go to Fort Pastor in search of his brother, but after learning that the entire CDC has been taken over by the dead, he goes out and notices Andy on the roof of a nearby building barricaded in a gun store. Kenneth establishes a visual connection with him by showing each other inscriptions on pieces of cardboard. When it becomes clear that an unknown infection is transmitted through bites, they decide to kill Nicole's father, Frank, whose hands are bitten. Kenneth locks himself with him in one of the pavilions and waits for the decisive hour. After some time, Frank loses consciousness, dies, and turns into a zombie. Kenneth kills him. Andre, knowing that Luda was scratched by an infected person, decides to isolate himself from everyone in the children's room of the supermarket and keep it a secret. While trying to turn on one of the supermarket's generators, zombies attack a group of survivors, and the guard Bart dies in a skirmish with them. Luda goes into labor, dies, and turns into a zombie. Andre decides to deliver the baby himself, but at this time, Norma comes to visit them. Seeing that Luda is infected, she shoots her, and Andre responds by shooting Norma. She also manages to shoot Andre, as a result of which they die. The survivors who arrive kill the infected newborn as well. The survivors try to come up with a plan for what to do next, and Steve remembers his yacht, which is in the port. With it, you can get out to one of the uninhabited islands and wait out the peak of the epidemic in greater safety. Steve himself admits this idea is crazy, but the others take her seriously and decide to take 2 buses to the port, converting them for protection. At this time, Andy reports that he has long run out of food. Kenneth has an idea. He proposes to send Chips, the dog they found in the supermarket parking lot, along with food and a walkie-talkie to Andy, since the infected are not interested in dogs. The dog gets to the store and runs into the hole, but the zombies climb after it. Andy radios that he took the food and managed to fight off the zombies, but they still bit him. Nicole, who had lost all her relatives and loved ones, became very attached to this dog. Without informing others, in a state of passion, she gets into the truck and goes to Andy's gun store. Finding Chips there, she locks herself in a closet, fleeing from the infected Andy, and asks for help via radio from her comrades. At night, the survivors organize an operation to rescue Nicole. Sneaking into the gun store, they find Nicole and kill Andy. Taking a lot of weapons and ammunition, they head back. As a result of an unsuccessful jump, Tucker breaks his leg. CJ gives him 2 pistols and tries to save him. While Tucker fires back from the catching zombies, Tucker runs out of ammo, and as the zombies attack him, Tucker asks CJ to shoot him. CJ fulfills his request and runs after the others. Running upstairs, they find that Steve, who was supposed to be waiting for them at the door, has gone to the buses. Anna opens the door, but they don't have time to close the door. Zombies break into a shopping center. Fleeing, they make their way to the buses and head to the port. On the way, one of the buses overturns. Glenn, unable to handle the chainsaw, kills himself and Monica with it. Zombies run up to the bus, bite Steve, and Anna kills him. She takes the boat keys from Steve's pocket, but at this time Michael is bitten in the hand. Having reached the pier, trying to buy time for the others, CJ dies by blowing up himself and the bus, thereby blocking the entrance to the pier with zombies. Michael says he was bitten and allegedly wants to watch the last sunrise of his life alone. After the boat leaves, Michael kills himself with a pistol shot to the head. Anna, Kenneth, Terry, Nicole, and the dog Chips remain on the boat. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe.